In this video today, we're going to go over the latest news in the world of powerlifting. For this particular week, there isn't a whole lot of news, but there is important news for those that will compete in Powerlifting America, which is the announcement for the dates of Powerlifting America's Classic Open Nationals. So we're going to start off right away with that one in the Powerlifting America Classic Nationals, which is going to be the open age division, just like they did this year in April in Austin. They're doing that the same thing next year, and it's going to be in Austin once again at that same hotel, the Marriott South Austin. And the dates for it now are going to be February 24th through 26th. So you can take a look at the schedule and see which day you're competing on, as well as the entry deadline, all that information. The reason why they shifted it over to February is to give more time for the federation and the athletes to get ready for Worlds. So last time was a quick turnaround from April 1st going into the beginning of June, where they had to get the nominations in really quick because you have 60 days out from the competition where you have to submit the nominations. And then also the athletes had to turn around and get right back into training and get ready for Worlds. So now it gives a little bit more space, time to build out the team, submit all the information, a little bit more time for the athletes to go through a full training cycle to get ready for Worlds. The other important news update when it comes to this Nationals and the other Powerlifting America Nationals is that they are putting a qualifying total in place. So for this particular Nationals, the qualifying total is just having a total. So you just have to lift 25 kilos on squat, 25 kilos on bench press, 25 kilos in deadlift in a Powerlifting America or IPF affiliate meet, and then you are qualified for Nationals. But it can no longer be your very first Powerlifting America meet, whereas in this year, it could have been. So a lot of athletes who were coming from USAPL or maybe just getting first into powerlifting went and did Nationals as their first meet, and then maybe went and did Worlds or North Americans as their second meet. So those people are now qualified for next year. And if someone did a local meet, they're already qualified for next year. But if you didn't do any of those things and now you're trying to make the switch over from USAPL, or now you're getting into powerlifting and trying to go to Powerlifting America, then you can't just jump straight into the Nationals. You have to go and do a local meet first and then qualify and enter for Powerlifting America Nationals. So just giving my quick thoughts on this, and maybe I'll make a future video specifically about qualifying totals. In general, the idea of qualifying totals is good. I like it. It limits who can go to Nationals, which is what you want. But for this specific scenario, I'm not sure it's going to be a good idea for two reasons. One being the timing. They waited now till the end of September to announce it, and then the competition is the end of February. So athletes have to now, if they're not qualified, haven't done any kind of Powerlifting America meet, rush out to find what meet can they find, hopefully between October and December, if not into January, so that they also then have time to actually sign up and prepare for Nationals in February and be able to train for that. So it would be harder to do a meet where you're actually trying in like January and then try again in Nationals in February. And also it kind of seems like a waste of money if you're just doing a meet in January, lifting the empty bar just to qualify for Nationals a month later. So hopefully people can find a meet sooner. The other thing is going to be connected to not having as much time is there's not a lot of meets as well. So when I last looked at the meets between October and December, I only found 11 states that currently have a meet that's on the schedule. I didn't go and look if any of these meets are filled up or not. So maybe less states that have availability, or it's even possible maybe one gets canceled if they don't get enough entries. Like they did have a meet initially planned for New Jersey earlier this year and they canceled it because they didn't get enough entries. But for now, from what I've seen as far as available on the calendar, is 11 out of 50 states only have a meet. So if you're not in one of those 11 states, then you're going to have to travel out of state just to go to the local competition, hit that qualifying total, which is the empty bar with the 2.5 kilo collars on each side, and then qualify for Nationals and be able to go compete at Nationals. So for those two reasons, not necessarily a fan, but that's what it is. And so if you are looking to qualify, that's what you have to do. The next bit of information is going to be regarding the Powerlifting America Age Division Nationals. So as we discussed this before in previous videos, at the annual meeting, they did mention this was going to be in Arizona, and they were saying it's going to be in May. When they announced the Classic Nationals dates on Instagram, people were commenting different things. One of the comments were people asking about the Age Division Nationals, and then one of the executives replied and said it's going to be June 1st through 4th in Arizona. So it's still going to be in Arizona. We're not exactly sure where it's going to be, probably in that Phoenix area, but it's going to be now June 1st through 4th rather than sometime in May. So we'll see when we get the official information on that as far as the location, the hotel, the exact schedule, those kind of things. But for now, that's what it's looking like. And since each of the Powerlifting America Nationals as of now have some kind of qualifying total, either doing the empty bar or having some kind of higher total like the high school Nationals, you can expect for the Age Division Nationals to be some kind of qualifying total as well. So maybe you should be planning ahead for that and finding some kind of local meet where you can at least hit the empty bar and qualify for the Age Division Nationals, and not wait into next year and then try and rush and get one in. And then some smaller bits of news. If you didn't watch the Arnold UK, it just happened this past weekend. So as a major competition, this was a major competition in that it was an international competition where you have athletes from different countries. You're able to break world records. And in this case, there were a lot of top athletes, both on the men's and women's side, initially nominated. There were some dropouts like there is with any kind of championship, but the women's side especially stayed at a very high level with multiple current and former world champions and world record holders competing. And it was a great competition. So if you didn't see that, you can go check it out on the British Powerlifting YouTube channel. And obviously you can see all the highlights on Instagram and everything like that. that. But it was a great competition, lots of world records broken, and Leah Bavois was the one who won the overall on the GL points, breaking the world record in the squat, breaking the world record in a deadlift, breaking the world record in the total, which belonged to her anyways. But this really sets her up for a Sheffield invite since she broke her own world record, and she has the highest GL points now all time on the women's classic side, regardless of the competition. So she jumped Amanda Lawrence now for the #1 spot all time. So that will definitely help her get a Sheffield spot. There was other athletes that did a great job as well. Carola Gara broke the bench world record and pushed Leah when it came down to the final deadlifts for the total world record and the overall points. And so she could possibly get an invite as well as some of these other athletes that did a great job trying to, build up the resume and get a Sheffield invite. And then some final bit of news, stuff that I post on my Instagram stories, but I figured I'd throw it here as well, just to, give you all a warning, is that we did have some recent failures in IPF. So USAPL has a public database where they show who they test, who passed, who failed, and if you failed, what you failed for, and how long you're suspended. And then the IPF has their own sanction list as well that's public, where you can only see who failed, what they failed for, and how long they're suspended for. They used to show everyone who got tested and whether they passed or failed. Now they took that away, and all we can see is who failed. But you're going to constantly see on both of these databases people fail, and some people will try and cheat and try and beat the system and eventually get caught. And some people do make mistakes when it comes to medications, supplements, and those kind of things. So one of the recent ones, and I'll throw a list on the screen, is someone who has won a junior worlds before and now they failed a drug test. So that obviously hurts the people who did compete against this person and they placed lower because this person was cheating during the time of that competition. And so they should be shifted up in their placing, receive their new medals and everything like that. And then the other one, which was from November, but it took until now to get resolved, and it's an unfortunate one, is Anna Rosa Castellane, someone that many of you know, someone that I've met before, multi-time world champion in classic, equipped, and world games, a very high level athlete who's been around for many years, has passed many drug tests, but unfortunately this one out of meet test came up with an issue. Apparently she tried to fight against it, which is why it took so long for the result to come up, because when an athlete is fighting again and going through the proper systems, you don't just post the failure. They are still innocent until proven guilty. So they have to go through the whole process. Sometimes lawyers and stuff get involved. And then once the case is closed and everything is resolved, then they post the results, whether it's a pass or a fail. So in this case, unfortunately, it was a fail and it was for a steroid. And so she's going to be suspended for 4 years. Whether any of these athletes, whether the two that I mentioned or other ones, did it on purpose or by accident, everything like that, it's always on you as an athlete to know what you're taking, whether you're buying it yourself, whether you're getting it from someone, whether a doctor gave it to you and said it's good or not. It's still on you to know whether it's going to cause a failure or not, whether you need to apply for a therapeutic use exemption or not, and whether it's going to be tainted like a supplement with things that may cause a failure, even though it's not listed on a bottle. So in the end, the responsibility is on you. So it's always important for you, if you're taking any kind of medications, make sure you're looking at what the medication is, make sure you're looking up whether you need exemption or not, whether it passed in competition or out of competition. I'll drop a link below to the Global DRO website where you can look up your medications so you can see whether you need to do those kind of things or not. And then when you're taking supplements, you should know there's typically a risk with supplements, especially in the US. It's very unregulated. Some of these companies out there may put extra things in their supplements that they don't list in order to have a better effect, and you may feel something that it is working and you're more likely to buy the supplement again. Or maybe they use a manufacturing facility or process where there's different supplements side by side, and some of the supplements are tainted with supplements that are being made next to it that may cause a failure because the other supplement would cause a failure, and then some of it gets into the supplement that you think is going to pass. So in the end, it's on you. And the best thing you can do that I tell people always is don't take any supplements. And then the second best thing you do is make sure you take supplements from companies that do third-party WADA testing and show that what's in their actual supplements is not going to cause a WADA test failure, whether it's in competition or out of competition. So if you want to look into any of these topics more, I'll have those links down in the description below so you can go find more information about everything. And I'll also have some other links for other videos you guys can watch here on my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.